this weekend. You've got two scheduled league games left. Playoff hopes. You've got to win this one. What tests will they pose?
They really developed their game where they play high ball and play high tempo game. They've got a lot of good carries in the back row, Bill Mafter especially, and line up defence has been very effective. You've seen that against Leicester in the Champions Cup game. So there's got lots of different areas of their game that can pose threats. It's an opportunity for us to go show the best version of ourselves.
In terms of how important are these last two games for you? You're obviously trying to get in the Champions, win the Welsh Shield, Champions Cup again, and there's still the mathematical chances if you win both games to get in those top 8 playoff places.
Yeah, I think every single game we go out to, we win, and we want to win, and I think there's always a way of winning a game. Obviously, slightly different depending on your opposition you play against, but each game matters as much as the next. So. Yeah, we're all out to go up there and get the victory.
And you personally, Richard, how much have you enjoyed this season, working with Toby, the full season, just sort of getting involved and the work that you've done with the forwards? How would you assess it so far?
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm lucky we've got some fantastic players here, hugely experienced players, but also some very talented youngsters coming through. And one of the great things for me is seeing how a lot of the senior guys here help with those guys, bringing them through. And the leadership roles they have and how selfless they are. Factor that in, obviously working with Duncan and Boothie, it's been fantastic for me. Working with different people. Boothie's experience as a line-out guy has been great learning. And yeah, I think there's a real good dynamic between the three of us in terms of how we bounce off each other and how we work together.
Final one for me, Richard, just the last couple of games, it could be as a squad, a few players leaving, maybe a couple coming in. How important is it to finish it off as a high for people that you see sort of day in, day out?
Yeah, I think it's making sure that we put in performances that are, how do I put this, the level that the players who potentially could be leaving deserve. Some guys here have done so much for the region and given so much in the environment just in the short term that I've been here, never mind over the years what they've put out. So yeah, we're definitely looking to make sure that we put in a performance that fulfills that.
Thank you, Richard. Good luck on the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Hi Richard, how are you?
Good, thanks Steph, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Obviously with the budget going down next season and players, a lot of players leaving the regions, obviously you're going to have to probably rely more than usual even on some of the younger players. Just keen to get your thoughts on what are the next crop of Ospreys like? Are they how highly rated are they? How exciting is the future from that point of view?
Yeah, it is, and always talk about the opportunities that come with silver linings, and you're exactly right there. So you look at people like Hugh Sutton, who's come through this season, still a young guy playing in his first real season. He had his first ever taste against Northampton in pre-season, and since then he's been involved in wins away to Montpellier, derby games, so he's been a massive standout in terms of his progress this year for me, and I think he's somebody who could really kick on going into next season. Forget how young even the mainstay players are in terms of people like Derry Lake, Jack Morgan, Morgan Morris. They're actually still very young players in their early 20s, and then behind them Tristan Davis has been outstanding for Swansea RFC this year, and he's somebody I expect to come through next season. Dan Edwards has had some great performances for Wales under 20s this season, hopefully step through. Tom Florence had a little cameo, an opportunity to play in pre-season and also out in South Africa, and I think he took his chance when he did, so I'm hopeful that he'll come through, give him more opportunities potentially next season. And then still got Harry Houston, Justin Hopkins has obviously had opportunities in the last couple of weeks, first year of 20s, so there's plenty of talent coming through. Like you said, sometimes difficulty that we're going to have to go through or have had to go through around some uncontrollables will hopefully create opportunities for others that we can make the most of.
Is Harry Deave somebody as well you're excited about? Because obviously Justin can't go on forever, can he? Well, you could try.
Well,
you could try.
I'd like it if Justin did go on forever. But no, Harry Deave's just fantastic, and you see the competitive. We were talking in the coach's office this morning about a little bit about pre-season and how we make certain things more competitive and winning moments and creating opportunities for that within pre-season for players. And me and Duncan were reflecting on it after, that he's just somebody who's just got that mindset that he wants to win everything, and every moment he has training games, he has that competitive element in him. It's just some people just have it within him, and he's definitely somebody with that, and I think that's the biggest strength that he has that allows him to compete at any level he's played at so far.
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of speculation that Nikki Smith might move on. I mean, seems to have been linked with half English Premiership in recent weeks. Is there any update on him? Are you confident he'll stay? He'll be here next year, or what's the latest?
So I know, if I'm honest, being brutally honest with you, is I've heard lots of positive updates regarding re-signings of players. But I think there's a plan to give that in terms of the release of that, so I'm not sure if I can mention it now, but what I'd say is some of the things that I've heard in meetings is I'm hoping there'll be positive news that can come out soon regarding a lot of the players. With Nicky's particular, quality players are always going to get linked to other players, and he's been quality for us this season, so I'll probably take it as a compliment to Nicky that there's so many people interested in him, and I'm obviously hopeful that he'll stay around because he's a big part of who we are.
Yeah, because obviously, as great as there is to have some great talent coming through, you do need those experienced players, and just to show them, if they're doing something wrong, how to do it better. Just that leadership, mentoring, it is vital, isn't it? Yeah,
it is, and so one of the things that I've noticed since being here is how much those senior players lead and how selfless they are as well in terms of helping some of the younger guys and how together the squad is. So we're very lucky that a lot of those senior guys for us take on that role without being asked, and yeah, hopefully we'll hold on to as many of them as possible because they do play a huge part, like you said, in the evolution of those transition players transitioning into the senior group.